Few bits to talk about. The main story here, people, is Eddie Nketiah. Now, earlier on the stream, news broke that Eddie Nketiah was offered a new contract and that his mind had been changed as he was set to possibly go to West Ham or Crystal Palace, that Eddie has been convinced to stay at Arsenal. I mean, for me, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but that is not good news for Arsenal, because I would have liked to have seen two new strikers come in this summer. I think if Eddie's at the club, we will only probably sign one new striker. So then we're hearing the details. So then I'm on social media and the story comes out. Sammy Mockbell, who writes for the Daily Mail, has showed us the details of this new contract. The story goes, Eddie Nketiah, the updated story, including details of Arsenal's offer for Nketiah, 5-year contract, £100,000 a week. Yes, you heard it. £100,000 a week.
Listen, Sammy McBell is very credible, very knowledgeable, very connected. How can a player go from being on the fringes, barely playing, scores a couple of braces, £100,000 a week, 5-year deal, and up to 5 million in bonuses? Gooners, get your reactions in right about now. That, for me, I don't want to be disrespectful to Arsenal. I don't want to be rude to Arsenal fans. I don't want to be... I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm really, really not trying to do that. Legitimately, I'm not trying to do it. But what I don't understand is how any Arsenal fan could be happy with that. Legitimately. I'm asking that as a real, genuine, bona fide question. How can any Arsenal fan be happy with that? Really? I'm not trying to be salty. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But that doesn't make any sense to me. 100,000. Is he really worth £100,000 a week? Let us know, people, because for me, I don't get it.
1 year with an option of another year. We're linked to Sammy Abraham, who's going to be playing in the Conference League final in a few hours as I record this. And now, David Ornstein, the Arsenal puppet. If you behave yourself, Ornstein, we will give you the Josh Kroenke interview, the exclusive. Oh, okay, yes, no drama, no problema. Unbelievable, Jeff. He is now reporting.
Just quickly on that. Do football fans who are watching think and believe that certain journalists report what the club want them to say what the club wants to hear, as opposed to giving the information and then their own true opinion? What do people think about that? I want you to leave in the comment section right now what you think. And by the way, a big shout out to everybody that's been leaving the thank yous. They mean a great deal to us. The donations mean a lot to us. I will make a pledge now to respond to every single thank you that we get on the channel. I just want to say a big thank you to all of you that have been doing that. I really, really do appreciate it. But back to Lee.
So he's obviously had that little scoop. Charlie Watson, Wheatley and Ben should be in bits. How comes they didn't get the exclusive? But Eddie Nketiah, the call me merchant, who scored 5 goals. Oh, but starts and goals and blah, blah, blah. Oh, he's amazing. He's playing with anger. He's this, he's that, and blah, blah, blah. He's got a point to prove. He was let go by Chelsea. Let's just have it right, mate, yeah? He is not going to get us to a title. So let him go. We actually rejected £20 million sterling. The Queen's Head, 20 million. We rejected that when he had 6 months left on his contract. Ah, dear. But West Ham and Crystal Palace are sniffing around like a rat up a drain pipe. They are looking for Eddie Nketiah's services. But the Arsenal puppet that is David Ornstein, Pornstein, Fraudstein, whatever you want to call him, has tweeted out today and said that he has done a 180-degree hard J-turn. Then he flipped it another 180. Then he's decided he's going to stay. So he's gone 360. He doesn't want to leave.
The thing is, 100 grand a week, as McBell is talking about. Of course, the guy is going to stay. And there was a tweet that was sent through to me that I just had to put out. And this isn't all Arsenal fans. Let me just say that. It isn't all Arsenal fans. We know it isn't. But when you read this, right, it just, for me as a football fan, it just genuinely resonates with me as an individual. That this is the typical Arsenal fans' delusional summer timeline, as it were. And I want to take a quick look at this. It sort of says June, we overachieved and are on the right track. July, stop panicking. Most deals are done in the last 2 weeks of the window. August, we did the best we could with the resources we have. Late August, after we lose a couple of games, judge Arteta in May. I'm not going to lie, there's an element of truth in that. There really is. Let's take a look at AFTV's reaction to the same news about Eddie Nketiah.
Say, okay, we can use you again for another year as a squad player. When he's come in this year, I think he's delivered.
Yes.
I don't think he's ever let us down. I mean, over the course of his whole Arsenal tenure, there's been some poor games, but generally for a squad player, he's given us squad player levels, which is kind of what you expect.
Do you think without Partey's injury and him having to come in and doing those performances, the club would have considered re-signing him? Or do you think it is off the back of, we saw him come in at Chelsea and he was superb against United?
The thing is, so I'm going to interject quickly. I think Eddie Nketiah is a good player, but he came in because Lacazette went off the boil. If Lacazette continued his form from Jan, Feb and March, he would have continued playing through April and May. Eddie Nketiah wouldn't be here. It almost feels like, Newcastle when they signed Joe Willock and West Ham when they wanted Jesse Lingard because of sort of 6 months of good form. It feels a little bit reminiscent of that.
I think they would have. I think the fact that he's played the last handful or so of games while Partey's been out has reinforced that we've got to keep this guy in the door. Do you know what I mean? I tend to lean on the side, but I don't know for sure, but I tend to lean on the side that regardless, they would have thought we need midfielders in. We've got one there already. Let's just keep him for another year. And rather than signing 3 midfielders, let's get 2 midfielders and re-sign El Nene. So I think it's a good signing. I think he always conducts himself really well.
It's going to be interesting to see as to whether or not it does end up being a good signing or whether or not people look at it from the point of view as, to quote the great man himself, it could just be,
it's time to go!
It could be that, but look, let's wait and see. Now we're going to check out what the Expressions and Rants podcast, Bant Sports Ooze. We'll take a look at some of that in a few moments. But of course, it was more controversy this week when Jurgen Klopp was awarded the LMA Manager of the Year and the LMA Manager of the Year, and of course the Premier League Manager of the Year. Sorry, I literally cannot get my words out right now. And I want to take a look at what Mark Goldbridge had to say when he reacted to it, because of course, Goldbridge is obviously very well respected in this industry. Let's take a look at what he had to say about this sort of controversial victory for Klopp.
Wins that easily because he won the FA Cup, he won the Carabao Cup, he's in the Champions League final, and he came second in the league. But the Premier League Manager of the Year is based on your Premier League form. So why has Jurgen Klopp come out instead of Pep? Well, when we did the vote a couple of games ago, it was actually a Klopp versus Conte final. Conte beat Pep in the semi-final and Klopp beat Eddie Howe. So, at the end of the day, the fans have spoken and people can be outraged that Klopp wins Premier League Manager of the Year. I don't think Pep should win it. The reality is Klopp actually lost 2 games and Pep lost 3. He lost out on the title by 1 point. Now, you could easily make a case, well, Pep still won it by 1 point. But my point is this. Klopp does it in harder circumstances than Pep. Man City were favourites to win this league at the start of the season, and they won it. But they only won it by 1 point because Liverpool pushed them very, very close again. So I think the prize to Pep is to win the Premier League. But I don't think he's hands down the best Premier League manager this season. And the thing that actually outraged me more was that the candidates were Eddie Howe, Klopp, Pep, Thomas Frank and Vieira. And I'm like, Vieira? I mean, he's done a good job at Palace, but where did Palace finish in the league? Can I just remind you where Palace finished in the league? Crystal Palace finished in 12th. Brighton finished in 9th. So why is Vieira more worthy than Potter?
Do you know what? Do you know what? Mark has makes a very, very good point there, and it's an intriguing one for me. Like, I'm not enraged that Klopp won it. I don't necessarily think he deserved the Premier League Manager of the Year. I would have gone for an Eddie Howe, a David Moyes, a Graham Potter. I felt like someone outside of the top 6 sort of deserved it, because some of them really punched above their weight this year, had some great victories, of course, had very good seasons as well. But look, I think the outrage towards Klopp is coming from the wrong people. But listening to Mark Goldbridge say that, you kind of already know that there is going to be a like a large percentage. There is going to be a large percentage of Man City fans crying, no doubt about it whatsoever.
I'm Robbie Lyle, the crowd pleaser, a walking Malteser. I get no loving. I'm a giant button. And I just want to say expressions. I apologize for running up my mouth. I was running up my mouth like the Rolo that I am, the mighty morphin milk dud. I didn't mean it. Expressions. My team, Mikel Arteta, he's let me down. And now I'm having to plead the fifth like I'm on trial. That's exactly what's going on. So expressions, I do apologize, and I cannot wait for the best of enemies. We had it all in our hands, and now all I got in my hands is a piece of jerk chicken, fam. You wild fam, is man mad? Get that blood. Let's go, Dave. And it's soothing sauce. Bant Sports Ooze episode 41.
Fam, do you know what I love about that? Everyone knows their brothers. I'm not letting a cat out of the bag. The difference in personality between Rants and X is, for me, I like it because it reminds me of me and my big brother. Me and my big brother. And the parallels between my relationship with my brother and these two is mad as well. Like, I'm nothing like Expressions. Expressions is funny, quick-witted, tall. I'm not tall. He's got his own head of hair as well. But the sort of dynamic, like his older brother, as in Rants, is just a bit more relaxed, a bit more laid back, has got him out of... I can guarantee one thing with me and Expressions share is a big mouth. And I know for a fact that Rants has kept Expressions out of a lot of trouble in his life, and just gives me parallels to me and my big brother. But the difference in the two is great, and that's why the dynamic on camera works as well. It's a great podcast. Listen, guys, go and check it out. All the links for all of the people that we spoke about today is in the description below. Always supporting the fan channel world, no doubt about it. But the intro of that just killed me, and it gets better. 103 minutes of absolute an hour and 3 minutes of absolute brilliance. So go and check it out. Now, I wanted to look at one more thing before we go, because fans are already starting to turn on Ten Hag, legitimately already starting to do it. And this, for me, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, but it's crazy. Just take a look at this.
Ten Hag couldn't beat that Feyenoord team when he faced them in the final with Ajax, by the way.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Already Manchester United fans, posing as Man United fans still, in my opinion, on the Ten Hag negativity train. We knew this was going to happen. We knew this was coming. Man United fans, just beware. We can't overtly fan police. Just laugh at them. They're hedging their bets. They are those people that put those weird, that person that bet on Leicester winning the league. They look like a genius when it happened, but when they put it on and told their friends, probably got laughed at. That's all these people are doing, is they're picking a camp early to create controversy and to annoy people. Don't be drawn out by it. Just do what I do and laugh a little bit, because you get where it's coming from. There's a lot of clout and a lot of commodity for a lot of people in being negative. It's all they have got. If they're being positive, no one cares about them. There's lots of people out there like it. You know who I'm talking about. If they stop being negative, nobody cares about them. They're basically all Katie Hopkins. But listen, people, until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. Leave your comments below. And please, a big shout out. Go and hit the like button on everybody that leaves a thank you comment in the Football Terrace comment section below. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all soon.